What is going on, everybody? I hope you enjoyed that nice little intro as much as I did. Pretty cool. I guess this is now officially episode 8 of Paving the Way, and we're making progress. So I'm excited you're here with me. I'm excited to be here with you and see what kind of value I can deliver today. I'll be honest, guys. This is definitely out of my comfort zone. Doing these shows, doing these videos, podcasts, whatever we're gonna call them. It is definitely not something that I've always, kind of seen myself doing. And I think it could be a couple of reasons why. It could be that, I'm not much of a small talk guy. Truthfully, it's mingling and small talk has never been one of my things. I always have been a talker. If you ask my parents or family members, friends, anybody who's known me for a long time, I can definitely talk a lot on the right topics. But really, I think it's one of the things that's just why it's kind of unnatural for me is it has a lot to do with a term that you may or may not have heard before that a lot of people refer to as imposter syndrome. So, imposter syndrome, if you haven't heard of it, it is basically where you almost feel that you're trying to fill shoes that you're not actually qualified to fill. And this isn't one of those, where you're looking for a pat on the back or you're looking for an attaboy or you're looking for, someone to fluff your ego or whatever it may be. It's really just a genuine feeling that people experience. And they're like, well, how the heck am I qualified to do blank, whatever that may be, whether it's fulfilling a role in your company, whether it's being a parent, whether it's giving advice on a certain topic. A lot of people sit and ask themselves, whether they want to admit it or not. They say, am I actually qualified to be doing this right now? And you can kind of approach this a few different ways. From a faith-based standpoint, a lot of times people will use the saying that, God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. There's other sayings, such as, basically the opportunities won't be presented to you until you're ready to fulfill them. So depending on, how you decide to look at it, imposter syndrome at the end of the day is a real thing. And it's something that I struggle with, like I said, sitting right here on this screen, talking to you guys on this video about all these things that I've, experienced and learned about in my life. I asked myself, before I recorded this one, I'm like, man, am I really qualified to talk about imposter syndrome? And then I'm like, well, yes, obviously I am, because here I am feeling it right now. So it's a real feeling that I feel truthfully on a regular basis. In my company, at 32 years old, running an organization with that a handful of people, depend on me and my leadership and making decisions that truthfully can affect the future of their lives. I ask myself a lot, how the heck am I qualified to do this? Right. And, at the end of the day, I keep showing up and just doing my best. So that way, when I go home at night and I lay my head down, I can honestly say, I gave it my best. Same thing with this video, with this podcast, with this show that I'm doing. At the end of each one, if I can say, you know what, I gave it my best. I was honest. I was transparent. I, spoke from the heart with pure intentions. It's at the end of the day, it's really not about imposter syndrome. It's really just, are you doing the best that you can do with what you've been given, how you've been prepared, the training you've taken, so on and so forth. So really what I want to get into is even some of the greatest people that we look up to, whether it's athletes, whether it's business professionals, whether it's, actors, actresses, anything like that, whoever your role models are, your superheroes, they experience this imposter syndrome as well. It's not something that just, us regular people experience, because I've been fortunate to have some conversations with those who are, considered professionals in their industries or in their markets or in their, line of work. And even they are like, man, I don't know what the heck I'm doing half the time. I show up, I give it my best, I use my training, I put out whatever I can to just help get the result that we're all seeking to achieve. So as we go through these days, as we go through these, opportunities or obligations that get put in front of us that we're supposed to fulfill, and we're asking ourselves, how the heck am I qualified to do this? Who in the world is going to listen to what I have to say? Who's going to take my advice? I can tell you right now, when you feel that, not if, but when you feel that, you are not alone, because a lot of people experience it. It's a regular thing that is constantly churning in the back of people's minds. And it just is what it is. So if you go into an experience or a situation and you can honestly say that, I've prepared the best that I can, I'm going to, see out this task with the purest of intentions, with the best of intentions to achieve the results that's best for everyone involved. When you're finished with it, you got to walk away with your head held high and say, I gave it my best. I did everything that I was qualified to do. Now at the end of the day, if you don't give it your best, if you're not utilizing all of the resources you have to prepare properly, so on and so forth, and you walk out of there and you probably, fell flat on your face, you might deserve to be staring at the ground for a few minutes, because maybe you weren't qualified to do that. I don't know. Maybe you did, maybe you were being an imposter. Maybe you're trying to, give people advice and teach on things that you've never actually experienced. You've just heard somebody say it and it sounded cool. So there's a lot of ways to look at it. Imposter syndrome is definitely something that is affecting us all on a regular basis. And truthfully, with social media, where you're watching this right now, with all of the filters people can put on themselves, all of the AI stuff that's coming out, and it's anything like that where people can truthfully just be fake. Imposter syndrome it draws a very fine line. Like I said, if you're giving it everything you can as transparently as possible with the purest of intentions and using the best of your qualifications to the best of your abilities, imposter syndrome should not be anything that holds you back. If you're putting on the filters, if you're using the AI stuff, if you're, just speaking out of something, out of context, or out of, oh, I heard someone else say it, so I'm just going to go teach someone else off of that, then yeah, imposter syndrome should probably smack you right across the face. So ask yourself that when you feel it, when you feel unqualified, what are you able to answer yourself with? Only you can answer that. So, guys, I hope you got a little bit out of talking about imposter syndrome. It's something that, like I said, a lot of folks that I know deal with, whether they like to admit it openly or not. And I'm here to tell you that when you deal with it, when you acknowledge it, you're not alone. So, hope you guys have a great day. Hope you drop any comments with questions, suggestions, or recommendations that you have for me regarding paving the way, and anything you would like to see on it. I am looking to have some guests on the show, so if you're interested and want to hop on and chat, let me know and we can get something on the schedule. I appreciate you guys. I look forward to the next one, and until then, keep kicking ass.